Welcome to Spotlight on Health on MIX96, Western New York's only health talk radio program. Sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Dent Neurologic Institute, Dr. Lonnie Berkman at LifeCell DX, Western New York Pediatric Gastroenterology, Spotlight on Hope, and Success Stories. And now the host of Spotlight on Health, Tom McNulty.
Good morning, Western New York. Welcome to another informative session of Spotlight on Health on MIX96. I'm your host, Tom McNulty. Our producer is Dale Musson, and we are very happy that you are with us again today. You know, our feedback from listeners is so important to us. And since 2003, when we started our program, we have gotten some tremendous feedback around the issues, concerns, and the type of subjects that our listeners want to hear. And many of our listeners are female, so you are the caretakers in the family, and you're the ones dealing with making sure that all the appointments are kept and the prescriptions are filled. So we appreciate all your feedback, your thoughts on the program, and questions that you have. Keep them coming. Today we have two returning guests. Both have been on in different capacities on our show, but today they join us for some common discussion around infertility, and specifically we're going to be talking about male infertility, but also how it impacts couples trying to have a baby. Joining us on the program today is Dr. Lonnie Berkman. Dr. Berkman is the founder and chief science officer for LifeCell DX. Joining Dr. Berkman is Tessa Kirst. Tessa is a licensed mental health counselor here in Western New York, practicing in private practice. Ladies, welcome to Spotlight on Health.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
It's great to have you here today. Dr. Berkman, we'll start with you a little bit to just kind of refresh those who have listened to the show and may recall previous appearances you have. But for those who may not, just give us a brief overview of what LifeCell DX does. What kind of a company is it?
Good. Infertility is still a very hot issue. And even though I'm a retired professor from UB Med School, the hot issue is that everyone that I meet knows somebody who has infertility.
Right.
It means that we're addressing for the couple or the man or the woman the specific questions they have on where do I go? What kind of answers can I find? I have some basic information. Or maybe they're starting out fresh, but where can I go to find out if we could have a baby?
Mm-hmm. And the magnitude of the problem in the United States, Canada region versus other parts of the country, or other parts of the world, rather. Speak to that a little bit.
Yes.
What's the magnitude of infertility?
Okay, let's say Buffalo. Let's say the state of New York. About 1 out of 5 couples who would like to have a baby are faced with a decision about how am I going to get there. They're having a problem. 1 out of 5, that's many millions.
Yeah.
Let's say that's 7 million in the U.S. You move around the world and the issues are the same. Low birth rates, tobacco use, U.S. it's marijuana use, and nutrition. All around the world, we have the same questions and the same struggle that this couple has. Couldn't I just have one kid?
Mm-hmm. So some of the issues that you're talking about in the world of medicine are relatively new. In fact, not many physicians you've encountered over the years have even had any training in medical school in the area of infertility. So part of your process in LifeCell DX is educating the consumers, but also educating why physicians should make a referral to LifeCell DX.
I'll tell you a story. A patient called recently, and I lecture to medical students. He used to be our medical student. He's married now. And do you know that when I made that lecture years ago, I pointed to the students out there, medical students, and I said, 1 out of 5 of you sitting in that audience in the near future will address this. He called me.
Wow.
He's remembered that lecture. He's a doctor. He knows that whatever specialty he's in, he received probably 2 hours in 8 years addressing something about fertility or sperm or eggs.
Right. Probably not much more than we got in our biology class in high school.
It is pitiful.
Yeah. In terms of the split, if you will, for male versus female, is it an equal opportunity condition? Infertility
You got it.
I think the perception might be is it weighs more as a female issue than a male issue.
The newest scientific papers that are around the world today say that 50-50. Even though there are maybe 20 tests for the woman and only 2 or 3 things that people know about for testing sperm, it's a 50-50 issue. Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier that there are some mitigating factors that can influence, I suppose, how the sperm perform, and if they are really at their maximum health. And there are conditions, environmental conditions, but you also mentioned the amount of nicotine someone might smoke,
Right.
Or use, nutrition, and even marijuana. And right now, marijuana is getting a lot of attention as a very safe substance to use, but I think underlying that, people are not getting the true story of other things it can impact.
Yes. I spent time in Japan. Marijuana is not an issue there, but tobacco is. In the U.S., marijuana is a growing use. Okay. And it does impact what happens to the eggs and sperm and the embryo when it wants to implant. It does. Secondly, our questionnaires are now addressing man or woman, were you raised in a household where secondhand smoke was impacting your life? There are papers that say secondhand smoke, tobacco, is changing her fertility today, his fertility today.
Interesting. There's also some concern, too, about returning veterans. And in the old days being the World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, when the soldiers returned, they wanted to start a family. You know, they had provided their service to their country, and they wanted to come back and start a family. And that hasn't changed with the conflicts in the Middle East, but so many of them are coming back, exposed to chemicals that are impacting their fertility. Your thoughts on that?
Right. If in the questionnaire we find out that he or she is a veteran and been exposed to many, many things, I mean, even in the offices or out in the fields in the military, we can see, especially for his sperm, that they're doing things differently because of exposures, and we need them to be very aware. And your friends and family, talk about that fact.
The difference between what's historically been available and what LifeCell DX provides is what?
Well, Tom, I retired from the med school, and we've taken care of 2,000 infertile couples all around that for hundreds of miles. 2,000 couples who said, I want an answer. Tell me, can we fertilize an egg? The reason that we are different is that I happen to be a sperm and egg expert. The doctors who are available in town will take care of you. They'll do the basics, but we are experts in finding out from her story what might be wrong. But for measuring for sperm, absolutely, I know, John, you've got lots of sperm, but they are not working right. Here's what you need to do.
So the difference is the standard test, or the modus operandi that's currently being used, is a basic semen analysis.
Basic.
And what LifeCell DX has developed is a much more advanced semen analysis that includes a discussion about family history, discussions about environments, but also your analysis is far more in depth about what that sperm can do.
Yes.
And that's an important message for our couples today, especially.
I think so, too. You take a sample to a standard laboratory around here, you hand in a bag, but we will sit with a couple and address background and family issues, testing that's already been done, and come here, look in the microscope. These are what the sperm are doing today. So you will find out, and I ask people to spread the word to their neighbors and their granddaughter and whoever it is, that finding an answer that the sperm, the way they are now, they can't fertilize an egg, so here's what we can do.
Yeah, so there are things that can be done. Before we go to the break, one question to sort of lead into our conversation with Tessa is, how would you characterize the emotional state of many of the couples when you first see them? What's the status of their emotional condition?
It's a very mixed situation. Our work is sad. They come in sad. They come in scared to death. They come in chewing their nails. Some of them are resigned. Some of them have been through so much where they feel it is now impossible. And we say, that is not impossible. Let's go through the workup. So you see this gamut of emotions, tears during those minutes of talking together.
Yeah.
And they come with their intense questions and help. Please help.
Yeah, and there is still that underlying, is it me or is it you? Because they really haven't gotten definitive answers.
No, the doctors cannot answer that.
Interesting. Today we're talking with Dr. Lonnie Berkman. Dr. Berkman is the founder and chief science officer for a company that is doing global work, but they're located right here in Buffalo, in Western New York, for your access. The company is LifeCell DX, and in our second segment, we're going to be talking with Tessa Kirst. Tessa is a licensed mental health counselor who is going to share with you what some of the couples are facing and what they can do about it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, our children find their way to things they probably shouldn't be eating, and all it takes is a blink of an eye. Then the stomach ache starts. And when that ache or something more serious surfaces, I need help. They understand much more than stomach aches. They know if there's a reflux issue, liver concerns, celiac disease, Crohn's disease, jaundice, irritable bowel syndrome, and more. They are specialists and can really zero in on what's going on. They also guide me on matters of nutrition and how certain food groups might play a role in a problem. I can tell you this, as a mom, I feel more informed when I leave Western New York Pediatric Gastroenterology, and I love that they have evening and weekend hours. So next time you blink your eye and the moans and groans from your child start, call your pediatrician and ask about Western New York Pediatric Gastroenterology. Find them on the web at wnypedgi.com or call 585-250-4132. That's 585-250-4132. Get the answers parents should have. Western New York Pediatric Gastroenterology.
Oh, another headache. So much to do, I can't focus. There has to be someone that can help.
And there is. Hi, I'm Dr. Laszlo Metzler, Director of the Dent Headache Center. If you have a pounding, throbbing, and aching headache that keeps coming back, you're not alone. Headaches affect the lives of 30 million people in the United States. Chronic headaches and migraines is a major cause of missed school and work. But the fact that you have headaches doesn't mean that you have to lose control of your life. Contact your primary care physician to find out if a visit to the Dent Headache Center is appropriate. We'll evaluate your headache history, lifestyle factors, and triggers and create a regimen to decrease and ultimately eliminate your headaches and migraines. We also offer our patients research studies for the treatment of their headaches.
Finally, the help you need. Call the Dent Headache Center today at 250-2000. What do you have to lose other than your headache pain? Your health, your choice. Choose Dent. 250-2000. Visit the Dent Headache Center today for a better tomorrow.
Spotlight on Hope, Inc. is a non-for-profit organization utilizing the creative arts of theater, film, television, radio, music, word, dance, and photography to advance health, medical, behavioral health, and social information to identified audiences and targeted markets. Does your organization need a new look? Tired of the same old PowerPoint presentations? Let Spotlight on Hope orchestrate a presentation that brings new life and energy to your message. The creative staff of Spotlight on Hope will develop the right production to reach your objective. Call 481-4578. That's 481-4578. What are you waiting for? Get in the spotlight today. Spotlight on Hope, 481-4578.
We're back. Thanks for staying with us. Important topic today. You're listening to Spotlight on Health on MIX96. I'm your host, Tom McNulty. Our producer is Dale Musson. And our guest today, very fascinating topic and some very important information. Because of the facts that one of our guests, Dr. Lonnie Berkman, mentioned, 1 in 5 couples will have an issue with infertility. It's important for you to keep a pencil and paper handy. We're going to give you some contact information because, as she said, we all know someone who has been through this. And Dr. Berkman, part of what you have come to realize is that when these couples come to you, they've gotten advice from lots of people, maybe family members, a coworker, and it may be some people in the professional medical field, but they look, I remember you saying to me sometimes, they just look exhausted, bewildered, and confused.
Good word.
Yeah.
They have tried to make it through the 1 year of waiting. That's a definition of infertility in the United States. Waiting for 1 year and going, I want a baby. They've heard many, many stories about why she is not, why he is not. And you and I have called them myths.
Yeah.
Okay, the issues on tobacco, the issues on, my goodness, he's never seen a urologist. The issues on, she's already had 2 or 3 tests. He's had a basic semen analysis. And some doctor perhaps has said, look, you've had the regular workup and we just don't know. And they are confused.
Yeah. So a visit to you will be unlike any visit they've had before, because you do take the time to look at family history, look at environment, and you're very passionate about listening to them because of the confusion they've been through.
That's right. I have told somebody that the first 15 minutes we sat down together looking at their questionnaire. They have questions to ask me. Mm-hmm. They didn't understand something about the eggs, something about tobacco. They asked nutrition questions. They bring copies of the reports, but they can't interpret this.
Right.
We try to get them moving in the direction of, look, the door is open. Mm-hmm. We're going to give you information from computer tracking, etc. And then the emotional questions that they bring in.
Yeah.
I do want to mention that we are now working with Tessa Kirst.
Yes. So let's talk about that. Tessa, you have joined and are available for the patients at LifeCell DX because you understand a lot of what Lonnie's been talking about, the stress and the strain that couples can go through. Many of them are at the point where the relationship's in jeopardy. Your thoughts on how that stress and other stresses that can be part of this process can impact basic relationships?
Anytime that there is something that a couple is looking for, hoping for, wishing for, and they're not getting it, whether it be finances, a baby, new job, it causes a lot of stress, anxiety, strain on the relationship. And there's a lot of pressures when it comes to having children from outside sources. Mm-hmm. You go to a family event or you just go out to dinner with a couple that has kids already. If you're married, the next question is, when are you having, what are you waiting for? What are you doing? When are you going to have a baby? And people, even your closest friends and family, might not really know that you're struggling with this.
Right. And even the simplest statement like that is not meant to be embarrassing or harmful to that individual. It's just kind of a natural question, mm-hmm. but it does create another pound of stress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, extra pressure. And then you're looking at a lot of finances because, as Dr. Berkman was saying, these other tests cost a lot of money, and the doctors, unfortunately, don't know enough about the treatments and the testing and all of that to make appropriate referrals mm-hmm. to address what's going on without, spending the huge amounts of money on IVF and waiting long periods of time.
Right.
So it causes just a lot of stress, depressive symptoms, even to the point of, if we can't do this together, maybe together isn't what we should be looking at.
Yeah, those walls start to come up when mm-hmm. they don't have the answers. Yeah. And it's almost as if they really don't want to blame the other person, but underneath they're wondering, which one of us is it? Yeah. And so do you see the potential for just a wall of lockdown to happen when they're at home?
Yeah, anger, like feeling, well, the test came back that, my sperm is okay or my eggs are fine, so it's got to be you. There's got to be something else going on that they haven't found yet. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of pressure mm-hmm. to have an answer.
And pardon?
Yeah, a lot of assumptions.
Yeah. A lot of assumptions that are being made without having the definitive answers. And I think that is one of the critical things. When we come back, we want to talk about what couples can do from starting with an examination and an analysis at LifeCell, but also concurrently starting that dialogue with you, Tessa, on how to keep the relationship strong through tough times. The program is Spotlight on Health. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When a heart attack hits, you need high-quality care quickly. And that's exactly what you'll get from the Catholic Health ER Network, which brings nationally recognized cardiac care closer to you. Every location of this 6-hospital network is staffed with expert cardiologists and backed by the Heart Center at Mercy Hospital, whose coronary surgery program received the highest rating from the Society of Thoracic Surgeons, and whose interventional cardiology program was rated in the top 10% nationally by Healthgrades. And Mercy boasts the only team in Western New York that uses the Da Vinci robot for open heart procedures. Choose the Catholic Health ER Network for care that's close to your heart. For a physician referral, call Health Connection at 447-6205 or visit chsbuffalo.org. Catholic Health. Closer care. Closer to recovery.
That's a baby. We both want to have a baby, but it hasn't happened.
We get into this question, is it you, is it me, but no answers from the docs.
I'm stressed out. We've seen 3 doctors and so many options to think about.
But then we heard about Dr. Lonnie Berkman and LifeCell DX, and we realized we did not have all the critical answers.
We went together to the free consultation, and Dr. Berkman explained everything LifeCell DX had to offer. We asked our personal questions. The simple test and answers were at LifeCell DX. We talked it over with Dr. Berkman and brought the test results to our doctors.
Now, we're ready to make some informed decisions about surgery and other treatments.
What is more precious than being parents to a baby? The advanced semen analysis is only offered at LifeCell DX. With this detailed report, you'll know the effects of nicotine or other chemicals. You'll know if he is fertile. Why go day in, day out without answers? Call Dr. Lonnie Berkman at LifeCell DX today, 716-408-3306, or toll free 866-999-3296. LifeCell DX is located in Amherst, New York. Call 716-408-3306 or toll free 866-999-3296.
We are back. So are you. Thanks so much for staying with us. A very important topic today on Spotlight on Health. I'm your host, Tom McNulty. Our producer is Dale Musson, and we're talking with Dr. Lonnie Berkman. Dr. Berkman is the founder and chief science officer for LifeCell DX, and you've probably heard about it, and now you're learning exactly what LifeCell DX does for couples. And Tessa Kirst. Tessa is a licensed mental health counselor in private practice and works with couples who are struggling, who are having this relationship breakdown during the process. And you know, Tessa, in medicine and in your field too, we talk about the importance of early intervention. You know, when you start to see the problem surface, that's the time to get help. Your thoughts on that?
I think it is very important to come in when you start to feel the stress and the burden of the what ifs, or not being able to, obtain some answers to help you feel better. And maybe the answers that you're getting aren't really helping you feel better. That's certainly a concern. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to come in and before it starts to be a problem in your relationship, before you're looking at separating.
Right.
You're trying to have a baby, so separating, I would think, isn't your ultimate goal.
No, that would be the worst thing once a baby is born. So do you actually teach people communication skills and how to keep intimate and have a relationship where you can be open about your concerns and your stresses without offending the other person?
Yeah, you work a lot on, like you said, open communication and being able to remove barriers and, walls between the couple when communicating. Definitely trying to get all of the other stuff out of the way, be it telephones, TVs, like undivided attention
not quiet
to each
time,
other.
But undistracted time where you can really sit down and talk to each other. No distractions, just an opportunity to speak.
And it's important to remember that you're with each other because you love each other, not because you're not with each other just to have a baby.
Right.
In most situations, you haven't started your relationship to have a child.
Yeah.
There was something there before that, and that's what you need to maintain and to continue.
Dr. Berkman, your thoughts?
Well, you mentioned that it is true. Half the time, infertility, whether it's short or long term, is the guy. That's 50% of the time. And most couples don't realize that we can, in our laboratory, help borderline sperm. There are options to be done to make sperm that don't swim so well, swim better, computer tracking their swimming patterns. We can help these sperm in very simple ways. I am asking couples or families to go ahead and call us at LifeCell DX. That's 408-3306. You can text us. Go to our website, lifecelldx.com. So talk with your doctors. Come to us directly. We will work with you and your doctors.
Many of our listeners, Dr. Berkman and Tessa, are females, so they are the caregivers. I mentioned that at the top of the hour. Do you find that it's usually the woman that brings the couple together for therapy or in your door?
It's changing.
Is it?
Guys are calling. They should. They've got to go through a urologist. They need to ask their questions. And I happen to be primarily a sperm expert, but we will tell them what's going on with her eggs.
Excellent. Excellent. And do you find that a lot of young couples find you on the internet?
Yes. Many calls are coming in. Just search Semen Analysis Buffalo, Dr. Berkman, Tessa Kirst. We're here for you together.
Okay. LifeCell DX is
important.
Thank you.
LifeCell DX.
DX and Dr. Lonnie Berkman. Tessa, how can our listeners start the process of getting some help when they know the relationship is stressed? How do they reach out to you and begin the process of staying strong and keeping those lines of communication open?
You can find me on Psychology Today. I also have a website, Tessa Kirst, mindbodyhealth.com. You can reach me 204-5552, extension 445. If I don't answer, leave a message. I'll return your call and set up an appointment to do the initial background appointment to figure out the best way that we can help you stay strong emotionally.
Okay, and that number again, a little slower.
204-5552, extension 445.
What's typically the process, Dr. Berkman? Is it a referral from a primary care doctor? Is it OBGYN?
Okay.
How do the patients get referred to you?
Anyone in the audience, let the word out that any doctor can give a script to come in for special semen analysis. Any doctor.
Okay. So it does require a referral, or can couples come in on their own?
We do take free consultations. So I want you to come in and sit and talk for 20 minutes.
Okay. That's a great way to get some initial information and find out what to do and learn. I think the important takeaway message here, folks, is that Dr. Lonnie Berkman has a global reputation, and she is in Western New York. She can help you with your infertility confusion. And don't be ashamed or alarmed. Most people with infertility start very confused, very puzzled. Also, Tessa Kirst is here and available to work with you on keeping that relationship strong. You don't want a fractured relationship when the greatest gift you can be given, a child, comes into your life. You want your relationship to be strong. So ladies, we salute the work that you're doing. I encourage our listeners to find you on your websites, LifeCell DX and Tessa Kirst. And thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing for couples in our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Spotlight on Health with host Tom McNulty, sponsored by Dent Neurologic Institute, Dr. Lonnie Berkman at LifeCell DX, Western New York Pediatric Gastroenterology, Mercy Hospital, Spotlight on Hope, and Success Stories. Follow Spotlight on Health on Facebook and at spotlightonhealth.net.